This is Motoring Today, the Philippines' premier and longest-running weekly motoring news and features TV and online magazine. I am Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Here are this week's features to watch out for. On Motoring Forum, we shall discuss the undelivered license plates by the LTO. A road safety reminder on the Young Street Smarts portion centers on who has the right of way for turning vehicles. This week's Buying Tripero shall be about following loading and unloading rules. Showcase this week shall have a subcompact SUV from Ford, the next-gen Territory Titanium. While for race weekend, we shall have the highlights of the 2023 Sea Oil Radical Challenge Philippines Round 1.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry, are in this week's episode of Motoring Today. Join us.
Life should be filled with stories to be liked and loved. Elevate your drive with the new Honda City. Take value and performance to the next level so you can view more places and check into new experiences. With Honda Sensing, you can do all these with peace of mind with its modern design and advanced features. The new Honda City is for those who are ready to step up their game. The new Honda City. Elevate your drive.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Here now are the latest news and developments in the country's transportation and traffic management. The MMDA is employing a carrot and stick strategy to stop motorcycle riders from sheltering under flyovers and footbridges in heavy rains and blocking traffic. Metropolitan Manila Development Authority Acting Chairman Romando Artes is looking to solve the problem of motorcycle riders sheltering under flyovers and footbridges during heavy rains. According to news reports, Artes said the MMDA will begin to apprehend motorcycle riders who wait out rains underneath flyovers and footbridges, endangering themselves and other motorists while causing congestion. Riders who gather underneath flyovers and block traffic during rains will be cited for obstruction and fined 500 pesos, said Artes. However, he said that the MMDA has also begun talking with owners of gasoline stations where it plans to set up tents where motorcycle riders can wait out the rain safely. He added that sheltered lay-by areas in major thoroughfares will remain open to motorcycle riders seeking shelter from the rain. Artes indicated that the MMDA will only begin to strictly penalize motorcycle riders blocking traffic when tent shelters at gasoline stations are already in place. It would be interesting to see how the MMDA plans to apprehend and cite motorcycle riders gathering underneath sheltered areas along metro thoroughfares during heavy rains. Meanwhile, another short commuter train service is suspended, but it all means progress towards a longer, better, and more modern commuter train service covering the island of Luzon. The Philippine National Railways has shut down the commuter train service from Biñan City in Laguna to Alabang in Muntinlupa City, going ahead with plans announced earlier. Around 2,000 regular passengers of the service are going to be affected by the closure, according to the PNR. This follows the suspension of the service from Alabang to Calamba City, also in Laguna. The PNR has taken pains to apologize to commuters about the temporary closure and explained that this is meant to fast-track the construction of the southern segment of the North-South Commuter Railway project. The 147-kilometer NSCR will have elevated double tracks and an electrified rail system to be constructed above current tracks of the PNR. When completed, the NSCR will have 35 stations, can accommodate 600,000 passengers daily, and take commuters from Clark in Pampanga to Calamba in Laguna in just 2 hours. Construction of the NSCR is expected to last 5 to 6 years, with partial operations projected to begin in late 2026 or early 2027. Commuters may be tired of being asked for patience while authorities work on making transportation systems work more efficiently, but the NSCR may be worth a little or a lot more patience. Continuing, it's been quiet on the jeepney phase-out front until now. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board have just reiterated that government's Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program will see the phase-out of old jeepneys. In an interview with CNN Philippines, LTFRB Chairman Teofilo Guadez III said the phase-out of the jeepney will happen in 2 or 3 years. The CNN Philippines report was aired ahead of the planned 3-day transport strike to be implemented by Manibela to protest against the phase-out of traditional jeepneys. The jeepney phase-out will happen along with the mandatory consolidation of franchises, said Guadez. The PUV modernization program will also see the rationalization of routes. Meanwhile, Guadez assured operators and drivers that traditional jeepneys can continue to operate in their present routes as long as they are found to be roadworthy and pass tests by the Land Transportation Office. Government has been talking about phasing out jeepneys for decades now. There is a sense that it will now be inevitable. And finally, in the wake of the shortage of plastic cards for driver's licenses, the LTO issued licenses printed on paper. Now, the LTO is also issuing digital driver's licenses. The Land Transportation Office has issued Memorandum Circular Number HAV 2023-2410, setting guidelines for the issuance, recognition, and use of electronic driver's licenses of EDL. According to the memo, the EDL shall serve as a valid authority, identification, and alternative form of authorization to operate a motor vehicle. The guidelines on the issuance of EDLs will take effect on July 26, 2023. Holders of valid driver's licenses can access their EDL by creating an account on the Land Transportation Management System portal. Under the guidelines, the EDL can't be presented as a photo or screenshot on a smartphone or tablet. LTO officers and deputized agents must witness the drivers or riders accessing their EDLs using their registered accounts through the LTMS portal. The LTO law enforcement officers and deputized agents will verify and authenticate the EDL by scanning its QR or barcode using their own handheld devices. Reading the guidelines, the use of EDLs is not as easy as it seems and requires access to the internet via a smartphone or a tablet. And those are the latest news and developments in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. The last we heard about the motor vehicle license plate situation is the assurance from the LTO that it is well on the way to closing the gap to shortfalls or backlogs. The Commission on Audit offers a bit more clarity. The Commission on Audit has released a report that showed 1.797 million pairs of replacement license plates worth 808.702 million that has been already paid for by registered car owners since 2015 remain undelivered by the Land Transportation Office. This is contained in the 2022 COA Annual Audit Report on the Department of Transportation. The COA audit also showed that of the remaining 20,509,807 new motorcycle plates procured by the registrants from 2014 to 2022, only 8,650,311 pieces were produced by the LTO plate-making plant and the plate unit, resulting in a backlog of 11,859,496 plates as of December 31, 2022. The report clarified that the motorcycle license plates produced by the PMP only covered backlogs from 2018 to 2022 and not backlogs in 2017 and earlier. That's because the Department of Budget and Management released funds only for the 2018 to 2022 requirement for MC backlogs, it said. The production of the MC backlogs from 2017 and below was not immediately undertaken due to lack of funds, it added. But the COA also said the undelivered replacement MV plates and MC backlogs indicate lapses in the performance by the LTO management of one of its mandates, thus depriving the registrants of their right to receive the plates they have paid for. The COA also reports projected backlogs will remain in 2023, noting that the DBM only approved $4.83 billion for addressing the plate requirement for this year, even though the LTO requested for $6.828 billion. The target of the LTO to eliminate the backlog is still not feasible due to budgetary constraints, the COA said. The COA said that the LTO needs to fast-track the production of the MC backlog plates and MB replacement plates and issue them to the vehicle owners nationwide. At the same time, the COA said the LTO needs to go back to the DBM and ask to immediately release the funds needed for the production of replacement plates and MC backlogs since the payments have been received and collected by the LTO from the vehicle owners. Lack of funding, problems with the procurement process, and trouble with suppliers have been cited as causes for the backlogs. Perhaps a major rethink in the issuance of license plates needs to be considered. That's our Motoring Forum this week, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.
At the core of Toyota Gazoo racing lies motorsports DNA. Combine that with the Philippines' best-selling sedan, you get the Vios GRS. Its black accent details and aero kit upgrade capture the feel and excitement on the track, and the 10-speed CVT that exudes the TGR competitive spirit. On the road or on the track, always be ready for a heart-racing, exhilarating ride. The Vios GRS. Bring on the thrill.
You're back with us here on Motoring Today, and we now have this week's important motoring tips. Starting off with some road safety reminders from Toyota Motor Philippines. If you're stopped at an intersection, paunahin ang sasakyan na nasa kanan dahil ito ay may right of way. It is important to keep this in mind for smooth travel. Continuing with this week's edition of Motoring Today, let's now focus on proper driver's demeanor, especially for those driving PUVs. Here's Payong Choper this week.
Payong Choper lang, kaibigan. Ako po si Jake, isang kapwa nyo choper. Loading and unloading ng mga pasahero sa tamang lugar lamang gawin.
May tamang lugar para magbaba at magsakay ng pasahero, kaya doon ihinto ang iyong sasakyan. Iwasan makaabala sa ibang motorista, kaya itabi mo ang sasakyan mo. Huwag sa gitna ng daan pumarada. Huwag ka nang dumagdag sa problema natin sa kalsada. Matuto kang sumunod sa batas trapiko.
Kung ayaw mong maabala, huwag ka ring mangabala. Makisama ka, kaya't huwag basta humarang sa kalsada. Ito po si Jake Gonzalez, Payong Choper lang, kaibigan, mula sa isang kapwa nyo choper.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. World of Motorsport is next.
In motorsports news, Full Throttle Weekend returned to the Batangas Racing Circuit last July 16 for more exciting time attacks, Touche battles, and the Clubman Racing Series. Jonji Gubalya topped Race 1 of the European Touring Car Championship Series Philippine B class, with Mike Consenheim finishing second and Alberto Quiroz in third. Albert Quiroz did better in Race 2, topping the same class, while Mike Consenheim again finished in second, with Carl Reyes joining both on the podium in third. Mike Consenheim ruled both Race 1 and Race 2 of the European Touring Car Championship Series Philippine A class, joined on the podium in both races by Patrick Hesse in second and Alfredo Roa in third. In the historic Mini Racer Philippines group, Lee Victoria was only second quickest during qualifying but won both Race 1 and Race 2. Purissima Gupit came in second in Race 1 ahead of Ronaldo Mojica, who crossed the finish line in third. Ronaldo Mojica, who was quickest during qualifying, stepped up to second in Race 2. Rafe Lestado completed the Race 2 podium on the HMRP in third. In the time battle, Chang Cruz set the quickest lap around the Batangas Racing Circuit in Session 1 and Session 3 of the Elite 100 class. Gardner Alvaran set the quickest lap in Session 2 of the Elite 100 class, barely edging Chang Cruz by less than a second. Third fastest during the same session was Mark Natanawan, more than 7 seconds slower. Gardner Alvaran wasn't as quick in Session 3, recording the second fastest lap. Mark Natanawan was again third quickest. In other motorsports news, round 3 of the ISIN Super Sprint took place at the Park Links Estate in Pasig, where John Michael Law recorded the quickest time around the pylons. Arnold Javier had the best run around the course at Park Links among the amateur drivers. Pogs Haranilla was a cut above the rest of intermediate drivers, while Jevoy Moreno scored 1 for veteran parking lot racers by setting the fast time of day while besting all prep drivers. Super Sprint featured several classes determined by the amount and kind of modifications done to the car in competition. John Michael Law topped the Amateur Street Modified 1 class. Glendale Dave Cuento, the Amateur Street Modified 2 and Amateur Street Modified 3. Ismael Medina set the fastest time in the Intermediate Street Modified 1 category. Matt Frederick C., the Intermediate Street Modified 2, and Froilan Victorian Bacungan, Intermediate Street Modified 3. Jeff Villonco ruled the Amateur Super Sprint 1 category. Mark Cleo Legaspi, the Amateur Super Street 2, and Arnold Javier, the Amateur Super Street 3. Ralph Cadiz was quickest in the Intermediate Super Street 1 class. Pogs Haranilla, the Intermediate Super Street 2, and Alan Santiago, the Intermediate Super Street 3. AJ Lacambra topped the Prepped A1 class, Alan Santiago the Prepped A2, and Arnold Javier the Prepped A3. Ralph Cadiz was quickest in the Prepped B1 class, Ringo Greg Abadisho the Prepped B2, and Jevoy Moreno the Prepped B3 and the Prepped C3 categories. Ringo Greg Abadisho also set the fastest times in the Prepped C2 and Prepped D2 categories. Marcos Lacambra ruled the Prepped D1 class.
More in the world of motorsports here on Motoring Today, as we now give you Race Weekend. Race Weekend takes us to the Clark International Speedway for round 1 of the Sea Oil Radical Challenge Philippines, which is now accredited as a national level championship by the Automobile Association Philippines. We're here now in the Clark International Speedway for another race day, this time for the Radical Challenge Philippines. Let's go check it out.
Our history, we're a very young racing championship, of course. We started the company in 2019, just before the pandemic. Obviously, when the pandemic hit, our operations were halted, and we actually only managed to get last year, 2022, our first ever racing series. Conducted that successfully, and we're here now in season 2 of the Radical Motorsport Philippines, or the Radical Challenge with Sea Oil for 2023. Last year compared to this year, we have one more additional round. Majority of our partners actually are the same. With Sea Oil, actually, we announced a 3-year sponsorship deal to partner with us, obviously, in the series as well. And this is really a true testament to Sea Oil's vision and investment in the future of motorsport, especially at the pinnacle locally here in the Philippines with our Radical cars. So fantastic, obviously, to have them as a partner. Porsche Design, of course, who is our new partner as well, and supporting us here, obviously, at the race weekend. For the level of qualifying for a racing series, we are a nationally accredited racing championship with the AAP. So the minimum requirement is a national C license to compete with us in Radical. So it's basically, if you have the passion, if you want to compete with us, not only are you racing the fastest cars in the country, but you will be a nationally crowned champion at the end of the season.
Just good to be back in the car. It's been 8 months since the last race last year, so coming back as defending champion, it's a new competition, new struggles again, but still enjoying it. We managed to get pole today, but unfortunately race 1 we ended up with P2, so hopefully with race 2 with a reverse grid, we'll see how far we can make it. There's definitely a lot of pressure coming from winning the championship last year, and I know that there are new competitors, new drivers that I'll have to be competing against. They're all very quick, so yeah, it gives a little extra layer of pressure, but I know that it'll just help motivate me to do even better.
Usually the idea of transitioning to go-karts to cars in general is actually a big step for go-karts. It's a transition where every go-karter can go for any kind of style of four-wheel driving. So for me, Radical is one of the best in terms of similarity in go-karts here in the Philippines, since the Radical actually drives, almost feels like a go-kart itself, just bigger.
On behalf of Radical, thank you to our sponsors, of course, for supporting us here for the Sea Oil Radical Challenge. We're in round 1 of 2023. We have 3 more rounds to go, and I look forward to seeing you all at the racetrack.
And that does it for our coverage of the Radical Challenge Philippines here in Clark International Speedway in Pampanga. Be sure to check us out next week for more race weekend action. The action at the Clark International Speedway with Radical SR1 race cars promises even more exciting wheel-to-wheel duels in the fastest local circuit racing series. 4 more rounds are scheduled, including the endurance race finale. And that's this week's World of Motorsports. We'll be back after this short break.
Isuzu D-Max.
I'm a revolution.
Into new heights.
Our Car of the Week is next on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. Risking a bad pun, Ford carved a good territory for itself in the compact SUV segment with the Territory. Can it carve a bigger slice of the market with the next generation Territory? Let's check out what this new Territory offers.
When Ford first rolled out the Territory at local stores, it set new benchmarks for the 5-seater compact SUVs. The Territory complemented modern, edgy styling, both inside and outside, with loads of advanced cutting-edge tech for comfort, convenience, connectivity, driver assist and safety, as well as with a fuel-efficient yet potent engine. The strategy resulted in the Territory immediately leading its segment in sales. This year, Ford is banking on a similar strategy with a rollout of the next-generation Territory, which is offered in two trim levels locally, the Titanium and Titanium X. The next-gen Territory takes up a commanding space on the road at 4,630 millimeters long, 1,935 millimeters wide, and 1,706 millimeters tall, with a 119 millimeter minimum ground clearance and 2,726 millimeter long wheelbase. The look is more contemporary than edgy, but it should still connect the Territory to Ford's target market of young professionals, first-time buyers, and starting families. The honeycomb grille flanked by signature daylight running lights command attention. The full LED headlights, framed relatively low, seem out of place, but Ford says this makes it possible to throw the light out much farther for greater visibility at night without necessarily blinding oncoming vehicles. Also quite striking is the rear design with the 3D LED taillights. However, some don't like Ford following this trend to put the model name in huge letters across the tailgate, finding the practice both tacky and ostentatious. The next-gen Territory also comes standard with automatic on-off headlamps, front and rear fog lamps, rain-sensing windshield wipers, aluminum roof rails, chrome door handles, and power-folding, power-adjustable side mirrors with heater and side-turn indicators, and rear spoiler with high-mounted stop lamp. Add 18-inch alloy wheels wrapped by 235/55 R18 tires as well as a manual rear liftgate to the Titanium. The cabin in the next-gen Territory is bigger than its predecessor, thanks in part to the longer wheelbase. There is a lot more legroom for those seated in the back, with still room enough for 448 liters of cargo behind them. The next-gen Territory arrived with a rich interior with premium materials for the seats, the dash, and door trims. The Territory Titanium comes with partial leather upholstery. The driver's seat power adjusts 10 ways, the front passenger seat manually 4 ways. The rear seats split and fold 60/40 and feature a rear center armrest with cup holder. When the Territory was first brought into the country, Ford aimed to set new benchmarks for interior comfort and convenience with the next-gen Territory. Standard features in the Titanium include keyless entry with push-button start, dual-zone electronic temperature control with rear aircon vents, power windows, auto-dimming rear-view mirror, wireless charger, load compartment light, and 12-volt power plug. The next-gen Territory is also not to be left behind when it comes to digital and high-tech features. In fact, it could arguably be said to be leading in this. The dash looks particularly modern and minimalist at the same time, with a digital instrument cluster and the touchscreen for the infotainment system seemingly integrated in one large display. The Territory Titanium comes with a 7-inch and the Titanium X with a 12-inch digital instrument cluster. Both have a 12-instrument colored touchscreen. The infotainment system comes standard with voice recognition, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and wireless connectivity as well as Bluetooth, Type-C and Type-A USB ports. 6 speakers in the Titanium, 8 in the Titanium X. The next-gen Territory has also been developed to be a fun drive, powered by an EcoBoost 1.5-liter engine with 160 horsepower and 248 Newton-meters of torque. This is mated to a 7-speed automatic transmission with wet-type dual-clutch engagement system. It comes with a rotary shifter on the center console. This powertrain comes with 4 drive modes: Eco, Normal, Sport, and Mountain, to help driver manage various road conditions and terrains. Electronic power-assisted steering makes piloting the Territory almost effortless. The suspension on the next-gen Territory features your usual McPherson struts in front and multi-link independent system in the rear. The brakes are also the usual ventilated front solid rear disc combination. Standard safety and driver assist tech includes anti-lock brake system, electronic stability program with traction control, hill launch assist and hill descent control, cruise control, blind spot information system with rear cross traffic alert, and door opening collision warning system. Also added for safety are 3-point seat belts, child safety rear door locks, ISOFIX child seat attachments, tire pressure monitoring system, and 6 airbags. The next-gen Territory makes parking very easy and convenient with a high-definition 360-degree camera, front and rear parking sensors, as well as active park assist for those who can trust the vehicle to park itself.
Ford appears to have succeeded in setting higher benchmarks in the compact SUV segment with the next generation Territory Titanium and Titanium X. That's our featured vehicle in this week's showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
What do we go for? We go for experience. We go for excitement. We go for sport. We go for style. We go for fun. We go for the Toyota Wigo.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. The auto industry takes center stage.
Toyota Motor Philippines has publicly launched the all-new Wigo at the Trinoma Activity Center in Quezon City. The new Wigo features a bold redesign and improved technology and driving performance. TMP believes the new Wigo will continue to be the starter Toyota or the first Toyota that people will buy.
The Wigo has become one of the favorite vehicles in our lineup. With this new model, we are showing the new features, the big changes in this product, and we believe it will continue to be the good partner of customers who are first time coming into the formal market, and we will be able to showcase to them the new Wigo.
Toyota has sold more than 149,000 Wigos since the model was introduced in the country in 2014. The new Wigo comes in 3 variants. The Wigo J, which comes with manual transmission and is priced at 609,000 pesos. The Wigo E, priced at 684,000 pesos. And the top-of-the-line Wigo G, priced at 729,000 pesos and comes with smart keyless entry and push-start ignition system, 8-inch display audio with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Honda Car Philippines also went to the mall to roll out the new City and Rio. Over 4 days, Honda showcased the refreshed City and Rio at the Mega Fashion Hall in SM Mega Mall. Aside from the refreshed look, the Honda City now comes with Honda Sensing in all variants, including the entry-level 1.5e CVT Honda Sensing, priced at 973,000 pesos. Top of the line is the 1.5 RS CVT Honda Sensing, priced at 1,128,000 pesos and features newly crafted RS design front grille with RS emblem, new front and rear bumper with carbon-wrapped lower molding, among other things. The new Rio is now more stylish with a top-of-the-line 1.2 RS Blacktop CVT, priced at 863,000 pesos, getting piano black RS design front grille, updated fog lights and fog light garnish, RS design side sill lower garnish, tailgate spoiler and RS design rear bumper lower garnish, and 15-inch RS design alloy wheels. During the launch, Honda assured buyers that availability of units will not be a problem.
The Rio and the new City is available starting today in our dealership. Okay? And we have to assure the customer that we have available stocks for them. No, there's no issue about stocks for this new model. So if you are really interested in this model, you could visit our dealership and you could actually buy them now, starting this afternoon in our dealership.
Honda is targeting sales of 500 units a month for the City and 300 units a month for the Brio.
We have new City and the Brio, and definitely this is one of our top sellers on the Honda Cars Philippines. So we are expecting monthly 500 units for the City and also 300 units for the Brio.
The new generation 2024 Trax has arrived, signaling exciting times for the Competent Car Company Incorporated Chevrolet.
We're very excited with the new products that are coming out with Chevrolet. We have 5 models coming out the next few quarters, and we know that our market has been very anticipating the new models of Chevrolet. So we look forward to bringing them all in, and of course it starts with this new generation SUV, the Chevrolet Trax.
Chevy Philippines is confident that 2024 Trax will be a hit with its target market.
This is the new generation 2024 Trax. It's bigger, bolder, and more refined than the previous generation Trax model. It comes with a 1.2 lightweight engine. It's a crossover SUV, and it has a lot of safety features and a lot of comfort and convenience features that we feel are going to be very attractive to its target audience of young and confident go-getters and achievers in the Philippines.
It was eminently Instagrammable, or stuff for viral videos on social media. 20 identical new Almeras in Moon Pearl Grey rolling down the streets. Following the unveiling of the new Almera at the Okada Hotel, Nissan Philippines invited journalists and content creators to be part of the first Drive Pinas event of the year. The event provided participants the opportunity to experience driving and riding in the new Almera with Nissan Connect services. The drive covered over 600 kilometers of driving through city streets, expressways, and country roads from Manila to San Juan, La Union.
First, on the test drive, I think the most important part is that you can test the vehicle. The safety, the responsiveness, also the fuel consumption during the whole trip, and also the new things that the car brings, because we have a lot of new Nissan intelligent features for safety, but also we have the new design and the looks. We want also to have a deep dive on the new technology, especially the connected car services, that you can try, that you can understand the features, that you can understand the capabilities using from your fingertips with a smartphone, all the features that you can activate it through the smartphone.
Nissan is inviting those looking for sedans to visit dealerships to check out the new Almera, while assuring stocks are available for immediate delivery to buyers.
So today we don't have a supply concern. We have already passed that in terms that we can provide customers the units, if the Almera, if they go to our dealers. So I recommend that you go to the dealers and you can decide which color do you want.
And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, please don't forget to check us out on social media.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now on its 37th year of continuing service to the general motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. On behalf of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Happy motoring!